I've enjoyed reading it very much indeed. Some of the things that surprised me, I was surprised, don't take this the wrong way, but I was surprised how well you did at school, GCSEs, and you were offered the chance to go to Cambridge, possibly, weren't you?
Yeah.
And you decided not to?
Wouldn't say I decided not to.
So who decided for you?
Life.
Okay.
And the teacher that kicked me out of college probably decided as well.
I didn't know you got kicked out of school then. What did you get kicked out for?
I'm...
I mean, this
no, do you know what it is? I didn't get kicked out for anything crazy. I got kicked... it's going to sound crazy. It's going to sound way crazier than it was. But basically, I put, like... I put loads of chairs on another student, like... sounds mad, but you know, like, just fucking... yeah.
You're messing around?
Messing around and...
Horseplay?
Horseplay. And I just put, like, loads of chairs, like, on the... So the student was trapped, like...
I mean, let's just establish, first of all, how many chairs are we talking about here? A whole classroom?
No, about 7 or 8.
Not that many, not that many
chairs.
I thought you were going to go big, like 25,
exactly, 30. No, about 7 or 8. Enough to entrap the whole human body.
Right, okay. So, I mean, it sounds to me like you'd planned this.
No, it was a spontaneous attack, actually.
What had the student done to deserve the chair
it was just some banter, just banter, as you do. And
so, was the person already on the floor? Or
yeah.
Already on the floor?
I might have put him on the floor. I might have put him on the floor.
I mean, I'm beginning to see the school side.
Exactly. It was, but even like, as I put, it was just joke. It sounds crazy. It was just jokes.
No harm was intended.
I can show you after if you lot wait around. I'll show you.
Let's get some chairs out here, and we're going to demonstrate this in a minute.
Exactly. I'll put the chairs in there.
But that's what they kicked you out of. Was that like the first strike, though?
No, that's what I mean. It was like the 100th strike.
Oh, right.
That's why. Exactly. You don't get kicked out for putting chairs on someone. I was just a little shit. I admit it now. I wasn't one of them like hyper kids like.
You were just occasionally. You'd act out your impulses.
Yeah.
Your lineage is not Indian, is it?
No, I'm originally Sri Lankan. Big up the Home Office.
Wow.
Thank you so much for...
What are the chances of that happening?
That is the whole of my fan club. They obviously got the email. My mum actually, she doesn't think I'm a proper Sri Lankan. Like, she calls me a coconut. Brown on the outside, white on the inside. My mum sort of goes, you're coconut. And the reason...
Is it OK you doing the accent? I'm not sure.
I think I'm allowed to.
OK.
Yeah. I can't speak my mother tongue, you know, because my mum and dad, they didn't speak to me like that.
So you weren't speaking that language?
No, but now, the problem is because I can't speak it, that's why my mum calls me a coconut, because I can't speak it, and she goes to me, why don't you know? Why didn't you teach me? Do you know, like, and then, like, we'll go to, like, a Sri Lankan party or something with those guys, and she'll slag me off, she'll slate me to a Sri Lankan friend.
In Sri Lanka?
Yeah, she'll go, coconut, and I'm like, no. And then I said to Mum, I sort of know what you're saying. And then she'll try and code it up. You know, like, bounty, whatever. I know what I'm brownie. All right, Mum.
Making it worse, if anything.
Exactly, yeah.
The code isn't working.
Kinder surprise. OK, Mum.
Hold it, when you were 13?
Yeah.
You bought a car?
Well, yeah,
for yourself?
You could buy the loot, it was only 35p, and then you could buy cars.
Yeah, but you were 13.
Yeah. I just looked older. I had a beard and everything.
Yeah, but not just that. Were you driving it?
Yeah.
When you were 13?
Yes.
But you're saying that as if that's a... Never mind how old you look.
Right. Well, you'd get me in trouble.
Well, no, you're getting yourself in trouble by saying it as if it's the most normal thing in the world.
Well, it was to me, I guess. But I did. And I had a girlfriend who was 19 as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was the love of my life. It was really funny because I used to go to school in the morning when I stayed at a house.
You used to drive to school in the morning, yeah, we got that.
And I used to pretend like, you know, I was going to work. I used to have a job as a tyre fitter. That was only a Saturday job. So I used to get up in the morning, put the overalls on and go to work when I stayed at her house. Yeah. And then drive to school, take the overalls off, put my uniform on and go in. Yeah.
And then go home with the overalls back on?
Well, yeah, no. Then I'd have to go to my mum's house.
Yeah.
And she'd have to give me a beating because I slept out the night before. Yeah, it's just what it is.
So you would do your homework at home, not in front of your girlfriend who assumed you were out?
Well, no, every now and again I'd bring the homework to her house by mistake. And I used to say it was like my boss's son's homework. It was complex, I mean,
Wow.
you know.
OK, so if your daughter came home with a young man who was like you were at that age, what would your reaction be?
All right, enough. All right, listen, I'm going to...
Because there'll be an 11-year-old driving her home if it's the same size.
How old are you, son?
I mean, I knew that you had a sporty background. I didn't know you were a boxer for a while. You weren't a bad boxer, were you?
No, I was really good. I always came, like, second.
OK.
Third if there was a ref.
But your dad wasn't a boxer because he was in showbiz,
Well, he was a boxer in the army when we were younger.
When he was a kid.
Yeah. And then when I was born and all that, we were living in a doctor's surgery, is where we were. That was our living room. And, you know, people come in with flu and colds and all that sort of stuff, because my dad was working over the docks at the time, and then he got into show business a bit later, you know, in the sort of late 60s,
Late
70s.
60s, 70s,
Yeah.
and he was a singer and he played instruments.
It's amazing, amazing
So did you go
musician.
to tour with him? Did you?
We
Is that where you
toured
got
all
your
the
love
time.
of-
That's what we did. I mean, that's kind of roughly what the book is about. Touring around like the working men's clubs, Manchester, Newcastle, Sheffield, Birmingham, and Liverpool.
And that must have been pretty different to you now touring and
Well,
doing
you've
the
got to
old
be on
tour.
your guard. I mean, my mum she's a very witty woman, my mum, and I remember sat in a club, this really rough club with my mum all night. I mean, Dad used to do this impression of John Lennon, you know, and he was singing this song, I imagine there's no heaven, all this, and there's a bloke saying, he shouted out, he went, that's not like John Lennon. And my mum went, hey, stuff, shut your mouth, like that. And this bloke went, who do you think you are? She went, Yoko Ono, and then piss off, you know. She's a really witty woman, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, she was looking out for your dad as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, when we was kids, we had nothing. It was on this sort of council estate. We had nothing. Like, on rent day, we had to hide from the rent man. So when the rent man knocked on the window, like, you know, like, my brother was like a coffee table. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was a lamp, do you know what I mean?
I was surprised to hear that your mum and dad, they're fairly, you know, conventional, I guess, working class people. And you
Yes.
speak in this way, you dress this way. I thought you came from, like, a posh family.
No, I'm actually quite ordinary. Aren't I fascinating? I always spoke differently. My dad was a coach driver before he retired, and my mum worked in the Army and Navy. And so very, very ordinary people, but then they had me, who sort of was born speaking like this. And they would go, oh, we don't know where we got him from. Oh. And they're like, yeah, go and speak to people, it'll impress them. So like, my mum would send me off to go and talk to strangers, like literally the opposite of what you're supposed to do with
With a bearded baby.
With a bearded baby. Go off, go and talk to them. Look, they'll be impressed if you talk like that. And I go, hello, and go and speak to people. But it was, I don't know, there was me and there was another boy at school who spoke a bit differently, and he got bullied a lot, and people would say, oh, you're gay, Kevin, you're gay, we're going to beat you up because you're gay. And Kevin would always say, how do they know?
Well, we're clapping, but it's a sad memory, really.
Because I think, like, at my school, a lot of the boys who were gay, it turns out, when they learned to talk, a lot of the straight boys learned to talk by copying their dads, but a lot of the gay boys learned to talk by copying their mums. So, you know, imagine a 13-year-old boy saying, oh, if I have one more pan of chocolat, I'll be speaking French. On one occasion, he went, oh, don't mind me, it's just my time of the month. I think that's how they know Kevin.
But you...
Where is that Kevin now? Where is he?
Where is Kevin now?
He's sat here talking to you.
You're a big fan of Alicia as well, weren't you?
I love Alicia.
Now, when was the first time you met Alicia?
I met Alicia, when was it, Brits?
Yeah.
Last year,
Yeah, and you were a big fan beforehand, weren't you?
Yes, of course.
OK. So we got Alicia here. It would be a shame to not use her finely honed judging skills, because I know that we have some hidden talents here in our guests, and I wonder whether we could do a little tiny impromptu version of Britain's Got Talent. You up for that, Alicia?
Yeah, let's do
You
it.
guys up for this as well?
I think so.
I think you're in for it. Alicia, come over here and join me here, because look what I've got sat here. Just for you, I've got the mini version
lovely.
of that. Do we have a chair for Alicia? We so do something. OK, here we go. Stormzy, I did a bit of research on you, and I found out when you were young, you played the bugle.
I did play the bugle.
Yeah?
OK. I think if you reach down there for us.
Can I give a little background story on why I played
Please
the bugle?
do.
So has anyone heard of the Boys Brigade?
Yeah, I was in the Boys Brigade.
I was in the flipping Boys Brigade, bro.
Were you in the Imps before that?
No. So for those that don't know the Boys Brigade, it's like the Scouts, isn't it? Like,
Scouts, but
yeah.
cooler.
debatable. We used to march. Like,
Yeah. We used to wear little blue uniforms.
Yeah. And so yeah, we used to march and we used to get armbands and that.
Yeah.
At the time, I just thought it was cool.
How old were you?
I was about 10,
That's
10,
cool,
11.
yeah, that's fine.
If you're a little dork. Yeah. that's a Jonathan Ross joke, isn't it? I've been watching it
I was
too much.
proud of... I was captain of the yellow team in Imps.
Okay, wicked.
And I was highly commended in the boys' brigade.
So you was like the top dork, like.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was. I'll take that. So you learned to play this in there?
So I didn't even learn how to play it, to be honest, but we'll have a prop today.
You learned a little bit?
Nah. No, I didn't know. Do you know what? I was meant to learn, but like, I was meant to get to that stage of like the boys' brigade levels, like your level, like top dork level, like.
Yes.
And then, so here you go, guys. I don't even know what I'm doing, but.
Do we need to do? No, wait. Oh, should I?
That was shit.
Let me show you how it's done because I learned.
Oh, do you actually know how to do it?
Yeah. I don't know how to play. But I tell you what, your lips taste sweet.
Yeah, that's it. Compared
But reading the book, Tom, I mean, it's not rude of me to say that you were an unusual child, is it?
Well, I guess I was a bit eccentric. And, I mean, for example, like, as a child walking around Waitrose with my parents, and I deliberately get lost so that I would have to go over to the information desk and then they'd read my name out over the tannoy, just to draw attention to myself. And in a way, I've been lost in Waitrose ever since. And I remember as well, very clearly, being in the sort of 80s, 90s, when it was fine to take your child into the pub. And my dad would just take me to the Anglesey Arms in Bromley and sit me at the end of the pub, sat there, like in my tracksuit at the age of about 5, and I didn't know what to do. I was just given a packet of crisps and a bottle of Coca-Cola to sip on, and I was so bored. But I did watch a lot of soap operas, and when my dad came to tell me, like, come on, we're going to leave now, I turned round and out of nowhere just slapped him across the face. Because I thought I was Angie in EastEnders or something. And everybody in the pub stopped still. I assume because they'd never seen such an incredible performance in their whole lives. And I thought I'm bound to win a TV Quick Award at least. But no, instead, they all said, you're barred, get out of there, you'll never come back here again, you're barred. Like, who bars a 5-year-old from a child I shouldn't have been in the first place?
Well, you're quite an aggressive and abusive 5-year-old, it has to be said.
I know, but very dramatic, always entertaining.
How is it for you being a grown-up young woman now with the fact that you were a child star? Because often people wonder about whether that's an easy transition to make.
You want to know if I'm f***ed up?
I don't think you are, but no, I just wonder whether you have to deal with other people's perceptions of you based on you being a child. And obviously you like doing it as a kid, but to an extent, I guess, the decision's made by other people as well.
Yes.
You know, your parents have to be happy that you're doing it to enable you to do it and so on. And so I guess there must have been a time as an adult where you thought, OK, that indeed is what I want to carry on doing. Would there have been a particular time when that clicked into place?
Well, I took a year or two off to go to university, and I got sent the script for this film called The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Which is the new movie, which is down there.
One I've just...
And it was quite a famous book. I mean, it was a very well thought of book, wasn't it?
Yes. I didn't know this at the time, but, I mean, practically all my friends at college had read it, and there's kind of this very intense cult following for the people who really love it. Anyway, so I got sent the script, and I was really intrigued by it because it felt incredibly honest and sort of like the only thing I'd read that actually felt like it had anything to do with my own adolescent experience and the experience that I know a lot of my friends had. And so I said I would meet with Stephen, who wrote the book and who also directed it. And it's really funny because I didn't really know if I believed in myself yet as an actress outside of the role of Hermione, which I knew I could do, and I did for a long time, but I didn't really know if I had other people in me or not. So I just sort of like needed someone to sort of come along and be like, no, you can do this.
You can do this.
And that was Steve.
Well, you can do it, and it's
yeah, it turns out that I can.
But your dad, this is what I like about the book. He comes across as a real character. I mean, some of the stories about him, they're like...
Oh, he's fantastic. He's such a great bloke.
They're all true stories, I
all
guess?
True stories. I mean, like, because in those days, the clubs were so rough, you know, and there was a particular place up in Liverpool. I'm not sure if it was called the Shakespeare Club, but I remember one night, this bloke had won the pools. and he bought this really crap suit. It was like yellow tartan suit, and he sat in the table with all his mates. He thought he'd treat all his mates, you know, but he kept heckling me dad. And in those days, you had like a three-piece backing group. It was like piano, bass and drums, but the bass player on this particular night was huge. I mean, he was like this kind of fella, you know. And this bloke wouldn't stop heckling me dad. And then right at the end of me dad's act, he thought, right, I'm going to have a go at this bloke. I'm going anyway. So he said, and the bloke went, make me laugh. And my dad said, well, let's borrow your suit, you know. So that really set this bloke off. And we're all sat in the dressing room. There's me, me mum and me brother all sort of sat there. I'm only like, you know, about 5, 6, sort of sat there. But in the corner is this small, mousy woman. Just sat there all like this, like really sort of quiet, mousy woman like this. So we're all in the dressing room waiting for Dad. I can hear all this commotion. This bloke's going nuts. And me Dad comes in the dressing room, right? Right, he comes in and he slams the door and he goes, I think there's going to be trouble here. I think there's going to be trouble. And we all went, oh, no, you know. And there was a knock on the door like that. And my Dad went, it's that bloke. It's the bloke from the audience, right? So he said, when that door opens, I'm going to lamp him one. Yeah. Right? So the door opened, and he went like that, and the bloke went straight past him, walked over to the small mousy woman, sat in the corner, and went, you're a slag. You're a slag and a slut, and you're an ugly whore. Like that, right? And he walked over to me Dad, and he went, right, I've had a go at your wife. What do you reckon about that? And my Dad went, well, it's not my wife. Right? And then this big bass player arrived at the door, and he went, well, whose wife is he? He went, is. Fantastic. So there's all sorts of stories like that in the book when we were kids, going around the clubs and all that sort of stuff.
So school, being kind of, not odd is the wrong word, but different to the other kids, that must have been quite tough for you, wasn't it?
I was an unusual teenager, certainly, and a lot of the time I would dress up in Victorian clothing in a bid to distract people from the fact that I was gay, which was a flawed plan.
Did that work?
It was a flawed plan.
Okay.
And I was so closeted and I was so convinced I couldn't tell anybody about being gay. But then I'd have these crushes. So once I tried to tell this guy that I loved him, but I didn't know how to do it. And you couldn't tell somebody face to face because it was the 90s and it was all like Britpop and like music was like people wearing tracksuits and all boys did was read magazines about boobs and how to wear a tracksuit. So I didn't know what to do. So I decided to go the other way. And I thought, well, it was my way of rebelling. So I threw a luncheon party to try and impress him and invited 2 of my teachers. And so we sat there, and I'd cooked like a beurre blanc, and I'd folded napkins, and I'd even bought fish knives, laid the table incredibly, to tell this guy, Michael, that I loved him. Of course I didn't. Of course I couldn't, because it turned out he was going out with my friend. And then our Yorkshire Terriers tried to shag each other. It was the worst. It was the worst lunch party I've ever been to.
I said to my son, as a joke, oh, you're being a bit of a dickhead, mate, aren't you? And I laughed about it. And he went, oh, my God, you can't say so. I'm only joking. And then about a week later, he said to me, you're being a bit of a dickhead, mate, aren't you? And I lost it. I went, you can't call your dad a dickhead. Flipped out, and then later on I thought, hold on, I've taught him that it's OK to say that. So then I went to see him and I said, listen, the truth is, I don't really know what I'm doing. You know, this is...
You told your son you didn't know how to be his father.
No, I said to him, look, I'm not... I said to him, I am sort of learning as I go. I said... So I'm not entirely sure all the time that I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. I said I thought I was doing the right thing, but now I've realised that because I used that word, you thought it was all right to use that word to me. I said you didn't do anything wrong. I was in the wrong, so I'm just apologising. I got dadding incorrect in that instance.
Yeah. But how did he take it?
We just... Well, he keeps saying dickhead.
How did you stumble into comedy then? Because I stumbled
into it. I was, you know, in our family, there's always been musicians in our family. My dad always plays loads of instruments, like, you know, he plays clarinet and sax and piano and drums and all this. And you just pick it up, you know. I spent loads of time as a kid hanging around musicians and stuff like that. So I knew I could play a bit of piano and guitar. And my main trick was to, when I played the guitar, I did know how to do this, slip the strap up to my neck and do this, and it would go round here. You know, that was my main kind of...
So you knew you'd get a laugh with that?
Yeah, I knew I'd get a laugh with that. But I wanted to be a serious musician, but every time I tried to do it, everything just went wrong, but it just started to get laughs, and so I did my big neck routine, and that was really, really well. Are you all right? Is everybody all right? Are you with us?
Great. Tom.
What?
I'm
having a chat with my new boyfriends.
Yeah. Tom, I don't know if I should even need to ask you, but were you play rugby at school? Were you a keen rugby player ever?
Actually, you know what? No.
You said you weren't sporty at school.
No, I wasn't.
You hadn't done much in the way of that. I wonder whether you would like to try out for the team this evening.
Try out what?
Try out for a bit of rugby.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Joe's getting in position already.
So what are you doing?
We're going to try... Mano, when you throw in, you do that, don't you?
So what do you
Is
do?
it called... Is it a line-up?
Line out.
Line out.
Line out.
So who's going to throw in for us? Who's going to throw in?
Manu. I'll throw it in, you jump.
You're going to throw me?
No, no.
Now, Tom, this is the scrum cap you wear for safety. I think it's that way round. And I think...
Yeah, like near the corner.
Really good. That looks really good already.
Do I look fabulous?
It looks absolutely you. OK, look at that. That'll protect you.
Why haven't they got one on?
Because they're not doing the difficult or dangerous part. So if you just go over here... OK, and
it
then
on
I've got a
straight?
ball for you, Manu, here. Joe, could you explain what are we going to do here? What are we going to
We're going
demonstrate
to do
here?
a small part of rugby union.
Look at this beveling with your leg.
Anyway, we're going to do a line out. Basically, it involves chucking a bloke in the air.
Thank you for calling me a bloke.
We're going to lob you up.
No, OK, I changed my mind.
Chief's going to lob the ball. You're going to keep your eyes on that, and you're going to catch it. You're going to bring it down. You're going to lob it to Ben, and then you'll lob it
Ben's over there.
to Big John.
No, you can lob it to me. OK, I'm ready.
Practice is going on.
Stop pushing my crotch into his face.
It's a highlight.
This is very much like a weekend I once spent in Berlin.
All right, let's go, Tom.
Ready? Come on.
Are you... OK.
And jump.
Yeah. Okay.
I did try.
Okay. Okay, we'll do it again. We'll go one more time. Are you ready? Are you ready, Tom? Go.
One more go.
One more time. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? 3,